Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a chatty makeup tutorial. I'm going to do pretty natural sort of a look. It's not a no makeup look. There's definitely makeup involved, but it's the look that I have been loving lately, and by lately I actually mean the last 3 to 4 months almost. It's a very warm toned look. It's pretty easy to create, but because I'll be showing you the steps, it's going to take a little longer, but when I do it in real life, it's not that exhaustive. It's actually pretty quick to do. This is also slightly more winter centric because we are now in winters and my skin tends to be quite dehydrated in the winter, so I'll be addressing things more from a winter and dry skin point of view. I've been sick the last week, not severely sick, but I just had like a really bad cough and a cold which hasn't gone completely yet, but because of that I do have like dark circles and just like generally not looking great at the moment, and my skin definitely can do with a little more moisture. So I'm going to start with a moisturizer. I'm going to use the GLAMGLOW Glowstarter, and this is basically a moisturizer which has some illuminating particles, so it gives you a bit of a glow, and we all know GLAMGLOW is a brand that is all about the glow. So that's what it looks like. I've not had a chance to like use it a lot yet. I've only used it a couple of times, but I think it works really nicely for the winters because firstly it is a nice nourishing moisturizer, and secondly because of the illuminating bit, it actually gives you a bit of cosmetic radiance, and we all can do with a bit of that in the winters. My skin definitely feels a lot better. It's softer. It definitely looks a little more radiant on the camera. Now moving on to foundation. Ever since I have started using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, I have been obsessed with this foundation because this gives me that exact thing that I look for in a foundation. It's about light to medium coverage. It's not too heavy on the coverage, but depending on how you apply it, you can of course get like a slightly more fuller coverage if you use a brush instead of like a beauty blender or your fingers. So I bought this in June when I was in the US from Sephora. Unfortunately, we don't have Giorgio Armani makeup in India yet, but I'm pretty sure it's a matter of time. So I bought this back then, so it's been almost 6 months. I will say this wasn't my favorite foundation in the warmer months because this is a very radiant and moisturizing foundation. So if you have really oily skin or if you're living in a climate that's very hot and humid, this is not the ideal formulation because it does make your skin a little bit oily after a couple of hours. So I didn't love this as much in the warmer months, but ever since the weather has become a bit cooler or whenever I've been traveling to a slightly colder place, this has been working just so well for me. And I use the shade 6.25, which is just the perfect match for me. So I'm going to use about 1.5 pump of this, and I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown full coverage face brush. I've never tried this brush with this particular foundation. I generally use my fingers or a beauty blender, but today I can't find my beauty blender. I've been traveling so much that I'm pretty sure it's packed in one of my bags. So I'm going to try the Bobbi Brown face brush. Now because I don't have any major discoloration on my face, I don't really need more coverage than this. So this works for me for every day as well as for special occasions too. It photographs really well and it looks really nice in real life as well, face to face. It just makes your skin look really healthy, and I absolutely love a healthy, radiant skin look. So foundation is done. Normally I don't really use concealer unless I haven't slept a lot and my dark circles are really popping, but I think I do need a little bit today. There are two concealers that I have been loving lately. The first one is the L'Oreal True Match Perfect Match Concealer, and I use the shade, I think it's 6. Yes, it's 6D/W Golden Honey. So this gives medium coverage. It also has a really nice natural satin finish on the skin. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy. So this is also something I use sometimes on days when I'm not wearing a lot of makeup. I just use this without any foundation and it works really well for me. And the second under eye product I've been loving is the Tinted Eye Brightener from Bobbi Brown, and the shade I use is, I'm not very sure what shade this is, but I'm going to, yes, I use the shade Peach, which is number 8, and this is a lot sheerer than this. It's much more light coverage, also feels nice and hydrating. So again, for a very low-key, no makeup sort of a day, this is something what I will reach for. Today I think I'm going to go with the Tinted Eye Brightener because I've already used the foundation. I don't really feel the need for a heavier concealer, so this is going to work just fine. Because I've been unwell, my lips have been just so dry lately and I just find it really annoying. So I have been steering clear of liquid lipsticks. I've mostly been using very hydrating like lipsticks or lip oils. I love how hydrating this feels. Like when you blend it with your finger, you get a bit of that emollient feel, and in the winters that just feels really nice on the skin. So now with the under eyes done, I'm going to move on to the eye makeup. I start with my brows. I'm not super fussy about what I use for my eyebrows because I do have pretty full brows. They just need a little bit of filling, and the pencil I've been using a lot lately is the LA Colors Browie Wowie brow pencil, and this is the shade Chocolate. This is like a lot of other pencils in the market. You have the angled brow pencil here and then a spoolie brush on the other side. With the brows done, I'm going to move on to the eyes, and something I've been really liking for the eyes is using a little bit of a brown cream eyeshadow and topping it up with a matte brown powder eyeshadow. I've been really liking the KIKO Long Lasting eyeshadow stick. I actually have this in a couple of different shades. This was the first one I tried. This is 04. This is a really nice dark chocolate color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this along my upper lash line and concentrate it a little more on the outer half of the lid. And this has a little bit of shimmer. So that just adds like a little bit of sparkle. I'm just using a blending brush to smudge it out. Now you can also just leave it at that and do mascara, but I'm just going to add a little bit of powder eyeshadow. Now for eyeshadow, what I've been using is the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat. I also have the full Naked Heat palette, and it is my absolute favorite palette in the whole world, and that is saying something because I love eyeshadow and I have a lot of palettes, but it's just all the colors work so well. They're really warm toned, a lot of reddish brown colors that work really well for Indian complexions, and it's just colors that I personally really like. Now this has all matte colors, and I started using this because I was traveling so much, so I bought this one when I was in the US in June, and the two shades that I end up using a lot are these two. So I'm just going to like tap my brush on both the colors and then go in all over my lid, just lightly patting and blending the eyeshadow. I love how pigmented the Urban Decay eyeshadows are, and that's the reason I end up using them so much. So I'm going to take the two shades a little bit along my lower lash line as well. For that I'm just using a slightly narrower brush. So with the eyeshadow work done, I'm now going to go in with mascara, but first I'm going to curl my lashes. This is the Shu Miura eyelash curler. I've been using it for probably around 4 years or 5 years, and it's in great condition. It works really well. I do realize a lot of the products I am using and talking about are not easily available in India, but because I've traveled so much this year that I have picked these up from when I've been traveling, and these are genuine favorites. I didn't want to do a video and talk about products I don't actually use, so I am sorry that a lot of these products may not be easily available to you, but if you're traveling now, you know exactly what to pick at duty free. For mascara, I'm using the Real by Benefit, which is my current favorite. I've been using this the last probably around 2.5 months, and I just love it. It just gives such amazing length. I often get asked by people which mascara I'm wearing whenever I have this on. It's also extremely long lasting. It's actually pretty difficult to take off even with a cleansing oil. I need to do like a couple of reapplications of the cleansing oil or balm that I'm using, and then go in with Bioderma to get like every bit of it off. The eyes are done, and you can see just with the eyes, like I could actually step out without anything on the rest of my face and it still looks like a nice natural look. I'm going to do a little bit of bronzing and highlighting for the cheeks. I received this from Smashbox a couple of days back. I only posted it today on my Insta stories, but I've had this for a few days and I have been playing with this palette and I really like it. So it's got 9 shades. Now I will say, like, a lot of them are very similar to each other, so on my complexion I don't think all 9 would look distinctly different, but that it is still a really good palette. Now sometimes a problem that I face with bronzers is that they are not very pigmented, so I need to layer a lot of quantity for the powder to actually show any color on my skin. But I have to say the Smashbox powder quality, it's so good. I actually over applied the first time I used this palette. I'm just so used to piling on bronzer in like a very heavy handed way for it to show well on camera that I didn't realize that these actually don't need heavy handling at all. These are very pigmented. I'm going to use this brush. And I'm going to use a combination of this shade here, which is a matte shade, and this one which has a bit of a pearl, because I do want like a nice glow. And this shade on the top here is actually really nice for highlighting. It's quite warm, it's very golden color, but I think it works. Like, you can almost use it as an eyeshadow because it's actually like a very strong gold color, but I really like it as a highlighter. Now coming to the lip color, I have a couple of different lip options which I've been rotating between, and I think all of these work really well with any kind of warm toned look. Now I have mostly used like a bronze, golden, really warm, rusty orangey brown, but even if you're doing something along the lines of a gold eyeshadow with say a peach blush, you can use any of these 3, and these 3 are all drugstore and easily available. The first one is the Maybelline Color Show Intense Crayon, and this is the shade Dark Chocolate. This is one of my favorite shades for deeper skin. This is like it's a reddish brown color. It's not actually a true chocolate. It's got quite a bit of red in it, so it actually looks really flattering. So on a lot of days I like to use this as a stain, or if I'm using a lip color that's too nude, I can use this to kind of tone that color down, darken it up a little bit, give it a little more color. So I think this is actually like a really useful product, and it's something that can be made to work for a lot of different skin tones. And I also have a really nice nude option which I do use a lot of the days, and that's the Nykaa Lips Don't Lie lip liner, and this I think is called Chocolate Boy. Yes, it's called Chocolate Boy. It's a warm brownish nude. And then the third lip option I have is the Maybelline creamy matte lipstick in the shade Nude Nuance, and this is also like a warm brownish nude color. I'm going to swatch all of these three. I still haven't decided which one I'm going to use for my look today. So that's Maybelline Dark Chocolate. That's the Nykaa lip liner. Really nice nude color for light and medium skin. And then the Maybelline Nude Nuance. I think I'm going to do a little bit of mixing for my look today. I'm going to use the Nykaa lip liner and then dab just a little bit of the Maybelline dark chocolate on top of it to show you how it looks if you just do it like a stain. Because here I'm sure many of you must be thinking this is not a nude, it's a pretty strong dark shade, but I just want to show you how you can sort of tailor it to make it look more natural. So I've wiped off the balm from my lips. I'm going to use the Nykaa lip liner to line as well as fill my lip. So that's the nude lip. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take just a little bit of the Maybelline. I'm just taking it from the back of my hand. Why waste product? So I've got a bit on my fingertip, and so you can see it still looks really natural, but it just darkens the color a little bit, and you can do this with just any nude lip color. If it's too nude for you, just add a slightly darker brown or a reddish brown to give it like a more natural look like this. And then to finish off, I'm just going to apply just a little bit of a lip balm because my lips are feeling a little dry. I'm using the one by Olive, which is one of my current favorites. And that is the final finished look. And that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to click on the bell icon so that your notifications are turned on. Every time I upload a new video, you will get a notification in your email so you don't miss any of my uploads. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.